gonna show you something. Check this.
Bro, that don't make sense.
Yo, bro.
What are you telling me? You good? We're back. Come on.
Episode number 2.
Get it. Let's get it.
So today we're gonna talk about racism. And I know we've seen so much of it in football with the Euros finishing a couple of weeks ago.
It's nuts, bro. It's nuts. Like it's a mad topic, obviously, but it's a topic where like some people can't relate to it. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think the misconduct and misunderstanding of certain things. Even me, bro. Like lately, like do you know when you just scroll through Facebook and you see what you kind of thought? Well, yeah. Well, my friends, like, do you know what I mean? Sharing their opinion, and that's what it is. It's opinion because when it's based on certain levels, you can't really relate to it. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not saying obviously everyone out there who's just like, do you know what I mean, is oppressing us and we're like the victim kind of thing. But there's just certain things, and it's like we just need to educate people. Really, do you know what I mean? That's the way it's going to be. But as a whole, sticky, bro, sticky.
And also saying that, I feel like those people that didn't speak about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because that's what I mean. It's like one of them subjects where even me, like, personally, it's like the amount of times you can, like, fall out with people over just opinions, really. Do you know what I mean? But certain things are there in people's faces, but it's like people don't want to look or don't want to see it. And that's a bit that's scary because it's like, bro, imagine when we're older, we have children. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing, like.
But and also, you got to think, it's that North, because obviously we're from Norfolk, as you guys probably don't know. We're from Norwich, so it's that whole Norfolk culture as well. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that whole Norfolk mentality.
Bro, I hear so much stuff, like, they're trying to say, what, Norfolk's the last white city or something like that.
It's the whole mentality.
And
like,
it's just, it's crazy, bro.
Because, like, people, I find, like, obviously working amongst people, I find, like, a lot of people, they don't want to move out of Norfolk.
They don't.
No, because like, for example, like certain customers, when I chat to them and whatnot, they're like, "Where you from?" or like, "Where your family from?" or whatnot. And I'm like, "Oh, London." Do you know what I'm saying? I got family in London or whatnot, Joe. And they're like, "Oh, I could never go to London." What the hell?
Nah,
what? So you like? I asked them straight away. I was like, "What? So you haven't been to Buckingham Palace? You haven't been to bloody London Bridge?
Innit? Even see where?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Prime Minister be chilling.
Exactly. Definitely. How have you not even been that? How have you not even been down to walk down the Thames?
Missing out.
It's too busy.
But that's what it is. I think because like the lifestyle here is mad slow.
Yeah, of
like
course. Definitely.
I mean, we have to wait an hour for buses. Do you know what I mean? Like in London, there's a bus every 2 minutes. You get underground. You know what I mean? You got your Oyster. Here, you're spending what, £8 for a 20-minute train journey to like a couple stops. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just crazy. Like, but it's also like once you're in it, do you know what I mean? Like when I moved down here, I was year 8, so like I hated everything about here. But once I got living here, you know what I mean? Once learning certain things, it's almost like it's a lucky thing as well. Because bro, when you look at it and pre how like life is in London, it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Crazy, especially like our age. Like, do you know what I mean?
Of course, definitely. Right now, knife crime and everything up on the high.
It's crazy.
Do you know, it's a bit.
But then at the same time, it's like it's a blessing. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like we can't say Norfolk. Norfolk is a nice place. Like it's a good place to live as well. Like bring up people, bring up children.
Yeah, of course.
Safe. Do you know what I mean? And that's one thing you want.
Definitely.
London's a whole different lifestyle. It's like multicultural, and of course I understand even now like Norfolk is becoming more multicultural.
It is definitely.
But there's also that acceptance, and
it is. There's always going to be.
And that's the thing. It's like
because you got to think it's very overpowered by British people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I think it always will be.
Yeah, of course, but we're in England, you know what I mean? It's just one of them things it's going to be, but it's just learning to accept certain things. So, like, you come across, like, you're going to be harmful or something like that. It's always, like, there and there, do you know what I mean? In that same situation, it's like, there's certain people also in their old ways, do you know what I mean?
Of course,
because,
like,
there's a time when, I was shopping in Sainsbury's and busy. It was busy. It must have been, like, a Saturday or something. Busy, but this lady was just trying to cross, and in the end I ended up like helping her, and she was like, she said something like, "Oh, you're kind, I'm usually this nice," but like it's not. Do you know what I mean? She's the elder generation.
Of course,
you can understand because obviously it's different from us. But
Mm-hmm.
that comment, I never took any offense to it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I've done a good gesture, and even now her leaving with that story, as in like you're kind, like this. She's now got a perspective of like black people. Do you know what I mean? Like not always being violent or being thieves, whatever we're labelled as. Because sometimes like the colour of our skin is a threat. And like lately as well, also I've been doing a course where I was speaking to a police officer who was there, and I was just like, having a word with her, just chatting to her. She's ex-police now, but he's just talking about what to look for. Do you know what I mean? And
in a person when they go to arrest them. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like she was saying, it's actually difficult for us to approach a black person because they almost like got their backs against the wall.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but and then I said to her, but can you blame us? Do you know what I mean? When we're a target or something.
Yeah, of course.
But then it got deep. Do you know what I mean? It got real deep. But also hearing it from her point of view, from her working, she's given these assignments.
Yeah, of course.
And then it now goes back to the whole status of, well, hold on a second, like who's actually making these aims? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And we don't know who's making them aims. And the worst part about it, she even says in the police thing, they recruit people who are like EDL and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but you can have a whole. This is what I don't understand. You can have a whole background checking if you're like a rapist or whatever. Do you know what I mean? A DBS check, but something like EDL, that not come up in the checks. Yeah, it's weird. Do you know what I mean? It's just weird. So like, it's just mad, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what would you say from like your point of view, like certain things, obviously, even when you're at work or whatever, do you know what I mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Have you ever been like, I mean, just in the situation of obviously like racism in Norfolk?
Do you know what? Like me in general, I haven't had heavy racism.
Yeah, I can agree as well. Same with me. I wouldn't say it's like heavy.
Do you know? I haven't had where they've come to beat me up or.
Yeah.
Do you know? You get I won't really say abuse, but you get the verbal abuse, but you get the whole comments.
That's it. Like that's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the whole, oh yeah, you're Paki or you're a curry muncher or do you know what I'm saying? Indian this and then that, and then they try to do the voice and whatnot. Do you know, like, with me, but obviously as soon as I speak, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you know? They're like, oh shit, this guy's fully British.
That's the thing. It's like when you're intaking into all of that. Like, say, I get it. Like we might have either our parents or we have come into this country. And it's not like, that's what the understanding I'm trying to say to people. It's like, we've not come to change their tradition.
No, of course not.
Everyone has a tradition,
of course,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
Back at home, people have traditions, you know, and it's culture. It's their culture. But the thing I have against it is like, because even when I was reading some shit into the Black Lives Matter stuff, it was like how they were trying to change certain culture. Do you know what I mean? Like, but we're in England. You know what I mean?
They tried to make out like it's a cult.
Yeah, that's a bit I didn't agree with.
I didn't agree with that as well because obviously you like we both went to the Black Lives Matter march.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like
what I'm saying.
You know, and like it's crazy that people genuinely think the whole Black Lives Matter movement is
It's like the opposite of EDL. Like,
do you know what I'm saying? Like,
against genuinely
wasn't that
it's like that. It's just wanting to be accepted.
Exactly, of course.
Do you know
and
what I mean?
Like, and obviously too much has now happened, and you know we now live in 2021, mate. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean. It's just like all I'm saying is, from my point of view, I've always spoke from things from me. Do you know what I mean? Like how I see things and certain things I've witnessed. Like, say for example, when I'm playing football, and even when I've gone, because my mum's a nurse, when I've gone to like, and she works with elderly people, and like even bro, sometimes it's a struggle for her to be giving medication out to elderly people because they'll say they don't want that nigga doing that or they don't want that black cunt, whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's it's crazy. That's the thing I get, and it's like all she's trying to do is help. Do you know what I mean? With me, like, I wouldn't have the willpower she has, but she just says I'm still doing my job, and that's what she loves doing. You know what I mean? It's a passion for her to be helping people.
And to be honest, talking about stuff like work and stuff, majority of the NHS, care homes, all these hard labour jobs, they are literally run by foreigners.
Yeah, that's the bit I don't. It's crazy because like, do you know even when you get that comment like people like, oh, they're taking jobs and stuff, they're not. You know what I mean? You get the same education as everyone else, but we're just willing, because it might be even coming from poverty or whatever, coming from different backgrounds, and we just want, or our parents would want a better life for us, you know what I mean? Same way when we have kids, we're going to want our kids to have a better life, do you know what I mean? And once you see that, even the whole movement, for like, say from your family's point of view, where they first started to where they are now, you know what I mean? Like, my mum's a warrior, bro. Like, the way she works, she'll work like something like 5 nights or 6 nights and have 1 day off. You know, and bro, she's done that since I've been like 12, honestly, since I can remember, and that's crazy, because like, bro, to think what, so she'll do that, devote her life to all of that, and then still receive that kind of hate, that kind of, like, I don't understand if she was getting hate because of the person she is, but it's not that, it's just, and the thing is also what she taught me is you can't let it get to you, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a reaction someone's always going to give to you, but you can't let it get to you, do you know what I mean? Because if she let it get to her, she would have stopped working ages ago.
Yeah, definitely, of course.
She would have tried to be something else, but no, she hasn't, do you know what I mean? And it's crazy, like, that's the only aspect I see, because it's just her ongoing, that's what I mean, she's my queen at the end of the day, and once you see her doing that, it's an example for me, do you know what I mean? It's like, I can now, if I do get a comment, it's like, not take it, but certain way to react, because it's like they also want a reaction from me.
And also, you got to remember, like, us reacting in Norfolk, it's not a good look on us.
I hear that.
Do you know what I'm saying? If we retaliate after every single person, for example, call me a packy, you know, whatever, called you, whatever, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't be a good look for us at all. And also, say for example, the worst case, it went to the police. We most probably would be the ones getting arrested.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's like the sad bit, because even like when it comes to certain situations like that, when I was younger, bro, I know some of my close friends can even vouch for me for this. Like, it was literally to the point where I'd never understand it, but my mum would always remind me that I'm black. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, to me, that used to get me irritated, because I say, Mum, you're telling me something that's obvious. But when I'm now out, we could be at a party, we could be at a function, and there's like 40 plus people. But the only person who would get described would be me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they'd come to my house, come check what was going on. Bro, I even used to have it where there used to be an old football manager of mine that I used to play football, and during the week he was a cop, like, he was, like, police, and he was a fed. But on a sly, he'd tell me the trouble that's happening in my town. Yeah. But he'd be like, oh, do you know who's involved? And if you can tell me names.
Trying to make you out like you are the criminal leader or something.
I mean, or something like, and I'd look at him and be like, I never used to get it, like, because it's almost as if, like, bro, I was young, do you know what I mean? I was at an age where I didn't know the stuff I know now, do you know what I mean? And it's like, really, you're really gonna, like, come to me and try get information like that. Yeah. Why me? Why didn't you ask the rest of the team?
Yeah, and it's more because you were the only black person in your
town. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's just weird, and it's like sometimes I bet he doesn't even see what he's kind of doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but to me, it's like, that's what I mean. Why would you not ask anyone else?
Trying to think, like, just because
to him it's normal just asking me, but like, I understand it from a different point of view, and it's like, why? Like, why me? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I remember one time, it must have been year 9 or year 10, and like all of our like black friends and whatnot, like we went to the cinema, and we went to watch Paranormal Activity 2 or 3. I forgot which one it was, and then the whole cinema's full. Now, you know how it is when you go to cinema with black people, bro, chatting on the phone, this, that. Yeah. Like, the whole time, they were just chatting, like... And then what happened was, at the end of the film, there was, like... I think, about 5 or 6 white people, they stood up. Because of you niggas, I couldn't watch this film. Yeah. And I was thinking, wow... See, like, why do you need to use that term?
Yeah, I get it. Obviously, they're annoyed. Obviously, they've paid for a film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But... I don't know, you know.
Well, the worst part of that, it escalated. They start fighting. Yeah. The girls in the girls in our group went down, and they were fully brawling.
Nah, I think I remember.
It was like WWE, bro.
Nah, I hear it, because it's like, it's just a certain way. Like, we've obviously been taught not to take it. Do you know what I mean? and it's like in that same situation, yeah, they're annoyed, but in the film did they ask him to like maybe calm down, be quiet?
I think once they did, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's just again, it's crazy.
Yeah, but my point is, you don't need to use the term.
Yeah, obviously, I agree with that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Completely agree with that, but certain people, that's what I mean, it's educating people, bro.
And I also remember one time, because obviously growing up, working in Dad's restaurant and whatnot, you always used to get like, I remember looking on Facebook and whatnot, at the local EDL marches, and we used to get, after the marches, them boys used to come in for a curry, bro. That's the most funniest thing. I'm thinking like, you lot are now protesting and fighting about foreigners, this, that, Islamic this, or whatever it is. But then, you're walking into a curry house,
and
drinking Indian beer, eating Indian food.
But bro, that's what it is. There, it's like that's what I mean. Even when you look at it in the charts, bro, it's like our cultures are accepted through music, and certain things. Do you know what I mean? Even look at England, like when England's winning, they love the players.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Of course they do.
But as soon as England is losing, they then justify the obvious. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's sad because it's like, in some way they accept our culture because look, bro, most families have Indian. Yeah, most British families will have an Indian Chinese, at the weekend. They might call it a chinky, or do you know what I mean? They call it all sorts, bro, and it's crazy because it's like that's also how they've been taught.
Yeah, of course,
do you know what I mean? Even I remember asking one of my close friends, like, and they'd call it that. And I said, bro, why do you call it that? He's like, oh, well, my mum's always called it. Do you know what I mean? My dad's called it that. So it's just a continuous in their family. So it's like learning to find a way to educate people so people can learn. But the thing I hate is the fact when like some people's opinions towards it is as if like it's hate towards like their culture. Do you know what I mean? Or like white people, bro. I can't have an inch in my life to hate white. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Of course,
because it's like look at it back then. Like I was saying, when I was back at school, I was the only black person there. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like it won't make sense. My best friend is white. Like it does not make sense, bro. Do you know what I mean? It just I just. And some of the things is like when you see people's opinions on Facebook and do you know what I mean? It's like one of them situations where you think to yourself, cool, like this person knows me, knows they have me on Facebook. Then they think like, right, like I could word my opinion, but I think about certain things before I do that. Do you know what I mean? I think about certain things, but it's like also pointing in like the obvious. Like obviously, I don't know if you hear it. There's obviously like say. In the Muslim culture, there's been like you hear like all the rape. I've seen it. Like I've seen,
of course, like the Rochdale stuff. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Yeah, obviously that is wrong. Like, but they think now because we're saying the Black Lives Matter movement, we're sticking up for that. Bro, we're humans at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Being a human is like, and you're hearing people like raping kids, underage people. That's wrong. Like, I'm not agreeing with that because then I remember one of my friends was saying to me, "So is that what you agree with? Is that what? Do you think that's right? Because then, if you think that's right, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter, and I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, kind of thing. It's like, bro, there's no way we said anything along them situations. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Because that's not human, bro.
Of course, and like for example, like you're saying about the whole raping stuff with the taxi drivers and whatnot. Like you always that is, I think, like whenever someone tries to be offensive, that they try to use that thing. Oh, you lot all rapists. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I've never had it, luckily, but I've heard it. I've heard people use it. Oh yeah, but Muslims are rapists. And
that's what I mean. It's a term they use to categorise.
But they forget. I know. I have friends that work in the prison. There's more English rapists than there is black and Asian put together in the prisons, and most of them are old men.
Yeah, I hear it, but that's what I mean. Also, stats and learning from certain things like that. Bro, there's a lot of stats. Like, even when arguing with people about that same thing, would be to even put categorise where then people say, but you lot kill each other. Do you know what I mean? That's black on black crime. Yeah, I get it, but black on black crime is nothing to do with the race itself. It's not like we're arguing about religion or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It is what's happening. I get that, but you can't then say us lot kill each other anyway. I don't.
And also, I feel like the media's got such a bad part to play in it.
But because the media know exactly what they're doing.
For example, like I even read last week, some news outlet wrote about Rashford's lifestyle, how much he's profiting off what he's doing. Yeah, the Times released something saying he donates 125% of his income, of his net worth.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? They're just constantly slating and slating. Like Sterling, look what Sterling's done.
Bro,
And constantly they're slating and slating.
It's like the news almost want to keep it real English. Do you know what I mean? The tradition.
Yeah.
Of how it used to be back in the day, and that's how I always think it will always be like that. Like, as sad as it sounds, it's wrong, but just learning to now educate people again. So it isn't like that. Of course, bro, like when you think of Rashford and how he's helping, it's what he's related to. Do you know what I mean? When he was a kid, when he was going to school, couldn't afford like meals and stuff like that. So he now thinks, now he's in a position where he's up there, and do you know what I mean, in the limelight, he can use that power to change.
That's what I say. Like, even me, I said the same thing. Like, if you've got the power in social media and your platforms, use that to your benefit.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Like, for example, like social media, we'll talk about it another day. But my example, if you've got a good following on social media, why are you posting rubbish?
Just be powerful with it. You know
if you've got 10, 20, 100,000 followers, but you're sat there, nowadays, majority of people are just outfit of the day, meal, outfit of the day. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? But why not educate these people?
Yeah, that's
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, what's going on in Palestine? I don't know if you've heard about it, but what's going on in Palestine? None of the celebs want to say something. Bella Hadid did. She's got how much million followers? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? She stood up and she educated the people. Even to this day, she still educated these people. I think she's lost a couple of sponsors. I think it's with Dior and with someone else. She lost. Even after that, she is still posting that stuff. That girl is a model, bro. She's a Victoria's Secret model.
That's crazy. That's
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she's a Victoria's Secret model.
So
she
knows her following.
Exactly.
People watch her. Do you know what I mean?
The people that watch her stuff are people that want to see her naked, pretty much. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're right, yeah, I hear it.
Man. And she knows that's not her audience. But she still thought, you know what, fuck this.
I can use that platform to influence and tell people.
Like, benefit you. You know what I'm saying?
It's sad that, like, say, companies like Dior would, like, cut her off and stuff like that because of her opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
But then now when other people have, like, strong opinions on certain things, it's not the same treatment.
Yeah, of course.
It's just sad, man. It's sad. Like, even because then touching base on, like, football, etc. like that, bro. This is what I said. Like, this year, ask anyone I know. I said, I am not going anywhere. I'm watching the football at home. Or with, like, just a few of my friends. But I wasn't going to go to a pub or anything like that. But I lost a bet with my best friend. I said, yeah, cool, I'll go watch it in, like, back in, like, North Ocean, you know what I mean? So it was... And it was what it was, you know what I mean? And you expect it. It's like now, there's been times where I've seen England and it's always the same thing, do you know what I mean? People would chant and chant start, but it's just crazy to think like most of these people are my friends, do you know what I mean? And they always say, yeah, I got your back, blah, 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 but when it comes to certain things like that, you can't even just...
Yeah, of course. Do
you know what I mean? But also, to them think, what, I'm 1 out of 100, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if they were to maybe stop chanting, they might be scared, do you know what I mean? They think, oh yeah, people think, oh, why aren't you chanting? Like, you're English, like, blah, blah, blah. But, bro, like, it's almost if, like, we come here, do you know what I mean? We are English, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the worst part about it, but just because of my colour of my skin, I'm technically not English, do you know what I mean? So how can I accept being English as well? Because, like, you guys weren't accepting being English, but you now want me to call myself English.
I know how it is. Like, even with me, I'm born and brought up in this country. Yet, when people approach me, they think I'm some sort of freshie, bro. Like, they think like I don't know no English. They're always like, oh, when did you move to this country?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or, you know, them sort of shitty comments, bro. I was thinking, oh, what the fuck?
Same when I started even school here, bro.
I was like,
I was gonna be told
here. Like, I was literally born here. Like,
I was really told I had to fall back a year behind, and I refused because at first obviously I was shy and that didn't want to talk because it was somewhere new to me. But once I then started talking and being open, everyone was like, "All right, he can speak English," and it's like the assumptions because you think
colour of their skin.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like it's just crazy. But from that point of view. it's mad. Do you know what I mean? It's actually because then some people, like they say, it's like we don't hate certain things. We just want to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? That's the fight. It's
Mm-hmm.
not fighting because we hate or fighting to fight against people.
Mm-hmm.
So none of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's just wanting to be accepted because,
Mm-hmm.
bro, like I could never bring a kid into this.
Of course.
Especially how it is right now. No way. Because right now, when I get either race in front of me or whatever, even when I'm playing football, for example, it'll be like I know I can tolerate it. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've learned to almost shield it.
Mm-hmm.
But now hearing my kid's been racially abused,
Yeah, I know how it is.
and bro, I would not take. I will be smacking people. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't care what anyone. It's different because it's like you're almost teaching your kid to love people and not from how they look. Do you know what I'm saying? And now someone's gonna either be old fashioned or older than my kid or something and try throw that hate towards them.
But they're talking about kids as well. Like, what's gonna happen to those racist kids is. Actually, I'm going to talk from personal because I've had it myself. Yeah. You probably had it yourself.
Yeah.
When you're dating, or not even dating, forget dating. When you're speaking to someone who's obviously English or British, and they go and speak to their parents about you. Yeah. There's been so many times, obviously back in the day, like
where they didn't accept it.
Yeah, I remember even in high school days. Yeah. Like they would tell me like their dad said, "Oh yeah, curry." Or, like curry munch or whatnot. What the fuck, man? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's sad.
He met me. And I remember another girl, like, her dad, I think is not EDL, but he's along the lines.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? And he openly will be like, I don't want, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to, like, chat to your Asian guy or black guy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I just...
I know, that girl, she loves black and Asian people.
It's sad. It's sad because
there's like I'm going to a point like the children of these racists most likely in the future it's 50% chance they're going to get with a foreigner.
Right, they're going to have to accept it, and it's one of them things. Yeah, the only way I've seen it from like point of view where like once like say that person has a kid with the daughter or vice versa, you know what I mean? It's the white son going with a black daughter. They accept because, bro, racism, like, look at it from this point of view as well. Like, in our culture, do you know what I mean? Or even, I don't know how it is in your culture, but my culture, bro, like, and it's sad because it's almost if, like, they want, like, a black on black.
Yeah, we get that.
Relationship. Well, we get that.
Not black on black. With us, it's Bengali.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it's that same thing. It's like, but I hear it. I do understand it. Don't get me wrong. I understand it, but it's not. It's wrong. Do you know what I mean? I'll never ever teach I want my son or my daughter to love someone. Do you know what I mean? No matter what colour skin, no matter what anything. If you love someone, you love someone. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, I hate obviously, and that's what I'm saying. So it's not just white people doing it like that because it happens in our culture.
It happens to us. Like even my parents are like that. My parents are like. They would say like I much prefer you to be with a Bengali girl because it's better for our understanding. Yeah. But I turn around and I'm like, but it's me who's going to be marrying the girl. It's going to be me who's going to be living with it. I'm going to be bringing the children up with her. Do you know what I'm saying?
That thing going back, it's how it was for our parents. You know what I mean?
But
going back to the older generation.
Yeah, but also you got to remember, our parents, they weren't born in this country. Yeah. They weren't even raised in this country.
You know what I mean? So
they come in at a proper adult age and all they learn to do is just work.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what I'm
saying. They didn't do no socialising with English people. Do you know what I'm saying? Only time they socialise at work. Yeah. But they didn't go out to bars or, whatever, restaurants or whatnot to go and genuinely socialise with English people.
Understanding. So their understanding is what they've been taught from their parents, and that's what I mean. It goes back to that generation thing because I think like where English people just think, it's not just them. Do you know what I mean? It's also us.
Yeah, of course.
Going back our generations where we learn obviously just certain way of how like when they were kids, like how they were treated. You know what I mean? The words they were given, etc. Bro.
But I also feel like it's down to like, obviously racism is 1,000,000% is taught. You're not born racist.
Yeah.
So for example, like I'm gonna speak from my point of view. With my parents, like it's the whole understanding thing. You've come to this country now.
Yeah.
But now it's down to it's your duty now to fully understand
the tradition you live in. The tradition you live in. Exactly. Like, because you can't now bring the old tradition from Africa or from Bangladesh to then come here and live like that, because that's wrong. Like, you leave that and then you learn. That's why it's easier for us. Like, even my mum always says, like, you get along with everyone because I've accepted the tradition. Do you know what I mean? But I've also grown up in the tradition, so it's one of them things I had to learn. But that's what I'm saying. It's like with our parents, they didn't really get a chance to learn. Like, they've come here to work, fully to work, and like fund us. Do you know what I mean? Make us get a better life, etc., etc. And that's what I think is like. It's crazy because it's not just. That's what I mean. Like, when other people want to learn about our culture, it's actually like surprising. Do you know what I mean? You actually want to learn. It's crazy. Same way we did, but
it's crazy, man. Because like I say, even my parents when I did like speak about all like marrying a Bengali and whatnot.
It must have been tough for you because obviously one like being Muslim, one also your culture.
Exactly, and you got to think, you know me, bro. Like I socialise with everyone and anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? We live in Norfolk. We've had to socialise with every race. Yeah. It's not like I live in East London where it's purely Bengali populated. Or you
can go to a Bengali community.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Like that,
like my neighbours are Bengali. My school 90% are Bengali. It's not that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so the position I'm in right now, like, it's very hard for me to now go and socialise with, like, not like Bengali people. No, it's not hard because obviously I'm a very social person as is. But in my parents' from my parents' eyes, they think it's just like that. It's just so easy. Like, I'm gonna go and chat to a girl, and like just because they're Bengali, we're just gonna click, and it's just gonna happen like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then all our lives they've been telling us, don't go and chat to girls, don't go and do this, don't chat, go and do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that whole mentality thing. But then when it comes to the whole marriage side of things and comes to all of that, now it's suddenly like, oh shit, why don't you have a girl? Or why don't you have Asian friends? Or well,
that's what
to be honest, you haven't put me in a good position
to be.
Do you know what I'm saying?
A Bengali girl, or have all my friends be Asian. You know what I mean? Because it's not like that. But yeah, I totally understand, bro. I totally understand. And that's why I'm also glad, like, in a way, from my point of view, my mum was never like that. Like, was never like that. Honestly, I swear, from young, like, even like, you know what I mean, they're just girls or whatever, were always very, not open with my mum, but like, my mum would never ever be like, don't go for a white girl or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It was never like that. I was never taught. I was just taught, if you love someone or you care for someone, do as you please kind of thing. So it was never a situation where it was like that for me, but it was like, do you know when you see it from like, say like I've got an older sister, you see it from like my older sister's friend's point of view or just other point of views, you know what I mean? And you're just like, bro, like, really, you won't date someone because of the colour of their skin?
Yeah.
Why? Like, what? How do you know that's not going to be that's your future husband?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what I mean. You'd never know. That's what I mean. With that same situation, it's sad because you then narrow your options down, and now you think, for example, you either see them getting hurt or whatever, and they've narrowed that situation down. Well, what's wrong with getting to know someone of a different culture, someone of a different condition, a tradition? Because then it's like, the thing that craves more is, do you know when like certain traditions and cultures accept each other? There's nothing more beautiful than that. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, like, but that's just one thing, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, because like even for like our cultures or whatnot, I think my parents' generation is the last generation like that are gonna carry that burden. It is a burden. That weight, they're gonna carry that weight.
Because now when it's you,
racial thing. Because even with me, like, I'm happy for my child to go and marry whatever race, but for me, it's just got to be Muslim, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as they're happy, do you know what I'm saying? Because I've got to understand from my point of view.
Yeah.
My parents never give me that option.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know, of course I've dated English girls and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? That's normal. Do you know what I'm saying? But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, it's all fun and games dating them, but if you're not going to marry them,
like, it's accepting, innit?
I know for a fact my parents are going to be it's going to be very hard to convince them. Like, it's going to be very hard. Like,
and that'll be like the grandmas and granddads to your kids.
Of course,
do you know what I mean? So it's like I hear it from your. I definitely hear it. Bro.
So like, yeah, it's just like I'm glad that I'm the last generation now in that family. Like, because our family's big, but yeah, I'm glad like this is the last generation. Like, even me, I've got mixed race, English and Bengali.
Yeah.
In our family tree.
Okay.
We've got even my niece. My niece is Kenyan, half Kenyan and half Bengali. We've got like Pakistani Bengali mix as well in our family.
How was that like being accepted in your family?
That was hard. Like even with my sister's situation, that was hard because obviously that's mum and dad's first time trying to. That's them understanding it.
Yeah.
From their like
point of view.
Yeah, literally like it's slapping their face.
That's what I mean. It's first point, isn't it?
Do you know what I'm saying? It's
now
not.
First point, it's like you can't turn it. Like, they won't be able to say like, look, we won't accept like the kid or something. Do you know what I mean? They learn now. They learn to adapt.
Yeah, of course. Do you know
and learn to see differences.
Like I explained, like they always want Bengali. Like for them, it wasn't really a culture clash, but it was just more because you got my mum and dad don't speak amazing English. My dad does, of course, but my mum's not amazing. Yeah. So you got to think like for her to have a son-in-law or daughter-in-law who is not Bengali, it's going to be hard to communicate.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I get that, yeah.
And especially like if they're going to be living with each other and all whatnot, all that kind of stuff. Like he's.
But there's nothing wrong with learning. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But that's the whole old school mentality. Like they don't want to understand. They don't want it. And for them also, it's like they don't. In a way, like they won't put your happiness first.
Yeah. Because
love and a relationship, that's about my own happiness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you do want to do that, they kind of think of themselves and they become selfish to that.
Yeah, no,
do you know what I'm saying?
I hear it. I definitely hear it, bro. It's mad because from that point of view, it's like learning to accept it. Do you know what I mean? They've got to learn to accept it. And there's no other way. I think that stuff brings families closer. Do you know what I mean?
It does. Definitely does.
Definitely brings families closer because I guarantee now, like your sister and your mum's relationship is totally different.
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
like,
of course. Yeah.
Whereas before, she probably thought, oh yeah, your sister's hiding something because that's how she felt.
Yeah,
Do you
of course,
know what I mean? She felt like she had to hide her love from her parents.
Yeah, of course.
And getting that acceptance. And
of course.
Bro, like I never want to ever be in that situation where, like, say for example, my mum won't accept a girlfriend of mine because of the race she is or something like that. That's hard because that's like some Romeo and Juliet stuff. And
of course.
Even going back, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy.
But what about racism because you've played football? So what about racism in football?
It's tough, bro. It's tough because when it comes to football, I swear it's like it's hard to explain because it's almost as if like that's all someone can say to you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because when it comes to ability, I get it. Like, but when you're confident in what you have, you know what I mean? It's like you become that. It's like competitive confidence that you have for yourself. That you know what I mean? You train. I go gym, for example, and stuff like that. But then when I hear it firsthand, it's like, bro, like I even put it in a situation. I think I was playing for a local side, and yeah, it was a good game, very good game, very competitive, and I was having it like, do you know when you battle people on the pitch? It's one of them. I was battling with someone, and yeah, I don't even know where it come from, but he just obviously called me like a black cunt or something like that. And the worst part about it, it wasn't. I heard it, but it wasn't me who reacted first. It's my teammate, and he was white. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And from that point of view, it's good because you think, cool, like you're playing as a team. Yeah. You're like part of a family. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like I had nothing wrong with that, and that was perfect because once I then. Obviously, I confronted him about it, and I lost my head. I can't lie. It got to the fact where I followed him to the changing room. He kind of ran, you know what I mean. And the worst part about it was the ref heard it, and like, I mean, I'm gonna touch base more on like the ref side because I've got like one ref I know who I also work with, who's been at a match where he's witnessed it. Do you know what I mean? I also want to try get his point of view across on camera, so. That will soon be coming through, and even from another player's point of view, do you know what I mean? But in that same situation, bro, it's hard because it's like, why couldn't you say I'm shit at football? Or,
of course.
Because that's not it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're gonna
yeah.
say something that's gonna really get to me, and when it gets to me, it's like, no, you don't like my reaction because you don't think I'm this monster you portray,
of course.
you've attacked me. Do you know what I mean? I've just stuck up for myself, really, and that's what I've been taught from young. Always stick up for yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, it's tough, man, with football. And I think after that, in the end, he only got like a 3-match ban, and he had to do some coursing. But bro, I found out he didn't even end up doing that. Do you know what I mean? He didn't really end up doing all of that, and it's like, for the sake of it, I know Norfolk FA would just do certain things, but yeah, that didn't really teach someone. Do you know what I mean? Because what about now he goes and racially abuse someone else? And the worst part about it, at that same point, they had a black player on their team. So you must think, if he's now calling me
of course.
these words,
Yeah,
what the hell does he call?
Of course.
Or
definitely.
what does the manager or them players call that? And, and it's sad because it's like, bro, we all share the same passion in football. And like, bro, when I'm talking about football, it's passionate. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
It's real passionate.
Yeah,
so it's like, and for me, it's like, I connect with football like with my pops. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's passionate for me. Like, I love this sport, and that's the only way kind of I connect with it. And then now to think, when I'm on the pitch, you're gonna just throw hate like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's like, even when I was like speaking to one of my close friends, it's like, well, you never got that when I was there, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But it's not like an everyday thing. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I like to say it as, because if it was an everyday thing, I don't think I'd be playing football.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you then come across someone who has that view and that opinion on it, they kind of speak in that content, do you know what I'm saying? And that's all they can say to me, because you must think, if they're saying that to me, they've obviously been taught that, do you know what I mean? It's not, like you were saying earlier, no one's born racist, do you know what I mean?
Of course not.
It's just how they grew up to certain things. I know even people like, just weird certain things, bro, like, you know, the old toys and stuff like that, the old gollywogs and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's from their generation,
of course.
and where they believe that stuff was right, but really you're just labelling black people, really, do you know what I mean? But it's sad, but just one of them things like where now I just, like I was saying, and I've said so many times, is like just learning to educate people.
And I think it's more to do with like I said, going back to Norfolk. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, even like the England team, 80% of the players they're foreign. There's only like two, three starting players that are English. Do you know? It's going back to all of that. Like, you learning your teams are evolving, the country is evolving. Do you know what I'm saying? And talking about racism, England was these English, like, England was taken over, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was someone else like who run this country, then England come. So they can't keep talking about all this my country stuff.
It's just sad because obviously even them players, they class themselves as English. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then losing a final to penalty shootouts after like one with broke records. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's records that have been broken and people haven't seen in their lifetime. Do you know what I mean? When was the last time England got to a final? It was when they won it in 1966. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's sad because these players, that's how they class themselves. Like, look at Sterling. Like, bro, he grew up in Wembley. And everyone, I know so many people, bro, I was arguing with people, to the fact that where people was telling me that Sterling doesn't deserve to start. Bro, Raheem, that is my guy. Because, bro, when you grow up somewhere and you know that, imagine like what they say on me, like the next venue's gonna be like North Horsham, you're gonna be playing there or something like that, bro. You're gonna play because you want to show people in your hometown. Like, your teachers, bro. Sterling might have had teachers that doubted him. Do you know the back in school when you're like, oh, you're not gonna make it in football, blah blah blah. So he had a point to prove.
Of course, did.
And even him coming through like Man City and stuff, like, he didn't really play too tough, but obviously he played in the final. But yeah, he had a point to prove, and that's what I mean. People forget like the passion within it. It's football. Do you know what I'm saying? That, but football helped him. Football helped his family.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
did.
do you know what I'm saying? Like, him now buying his mum a house and stuff like that. It's just a way out. It was a way out, and that's what when it gets patronised, as in like, oh, it's because you're black or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's what they can only attack us by. And
but they forget the hard work inside of it.
That's what I'm saying. They forget the sacrifices, bro.
They do.
Football is sacrifice. You sacrifice a lot to make it. Do you know what I'm saying? You sacrifice even going out, socialising. Bro, like, when I'm speaking to like ex-footballers and stuff like that, I've realised that they've actually missed certain parts in life.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Well, we would be like, say for example, going house parties or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They weren't able to do that because
Mhm.
all they knew was eat, sleep,
Yeah.
drink, football.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Yeah,
do you know
yeah,
what I
of
mean?
course.
It's a sacrifice. So once you then now put race within that
Mhm.
sacrifice,
Yeah.
it's like a battle, bro.
Mhm.
Because it's like, imagine you sacrifice all of that to make it where you are, and
Mhm.
now the only people who can ever shout abuse at you is
The fans.
it's the fans from, and that's what I mean. It'll be like Jack and Jill, whatever, whoever's sitting at home. Do you know what I mean? Like just sat there, and they hadn't had to sacrifice that.
Of course.
They'd go
Of course.
to the pub, drink with their
Exactly, of
boys.
course.
You know what I mean? They've not had to sacrifice that, but it's just sad, bro. Because then it's almost if like when we're winning, we're one,
Yeah. Mhm.
but when we're losing,
Yeah, of
we're
course.
separate.
Mhm. Definitely, I agree.
That's the sad part about it, because it's like from that point of view, it shouldn't be like that. It should never be like that. Because then to think what now you hear articles of kids now 13, 14 playing for England under 13, 14 saying, "Mum, I don't want to play for England anymore," because they see that. They see how Sterling was patronised. And that's the only sad part, because we should be educating people and even showing that the next generation that is coming up, black, white, like, do you know what I mean? We're all English.
Mhm.
That's the part.
That is, yeah.
That's the part. And even, I know it's very hard, but to think like sometimes we do also need, maybe, I don't know, like a main role model in England to also show that it's not a race war thing. Do you know what I mean?
I think that, to be honest, you're saying that, I think they are trying it. Rio Ferdinand, Sterling now, and all these people are trying it, but in the day, you got to remember where it stems back from. The whole hooligan culture. It's that all of that shitty hooligan, you know.
Yeah. And that's always been around, you know what I mean? When it comes to football, bro, football in this country is too passionate. Like, people will die for the badge, do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's always been about. But even when you label it like that, bro, like, you see firms, there is black and white people coming together because they love that team, do you know what I mean? And it's never a fact. Because I hear what you mean, but when it comes to firms and stuff like that, I've seen it, bro, firsthand, you know what I mean? Like, fair enough, there might be, but it's a culture kind of thing, like, they're a family, and that's how they see it.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just, just learning to accept it, really, because the older we get, the worse it's, do you know what I mean? It can't get worse. It's only has to get better, because then I just hope it gets better for the sake of our kids when we're done, you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to ask in the next question, that where do you think racism is going to be in 10 years' time?
No, we're definitely going in the right direction. It's hard, obviously. It's hard. Change. No one likes change, bro. No one likes change.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're seeing this daily, weekly on your news, on your thing, it's gonna be jarring. I get it, because it's change. Like, no one wants to change. Do you know what I mean? But the more we keep fighting, and the more, and I think it should just do it in a better manner as well. Do you know what I mean? Earlier, I get all the rights and stuff, but there's ways of showing people. Do you know what I mean?
I also feel like I said, like, obviously growing up in 10 years' time, you're gonna have more multicultural, like mixed race kids. You know, you're gonna have people
coming from different backgrounds.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
do you know what I'm saying? It's just
it,
gonna evolve.
I mean?
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there will be certain English and British people that are just gonna stay English and British.
Yeah.
But people are gonna constantly change their mind. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I just hope it just gets better by the time, like,
it's like even when I like when we first moved into our house, we live in a fully English area, like old people retired and whatnot. We're the only Asians in the area, and obviously I was thinking, okay, maybe we might get a little racism. All our neighbours love us. Every single neighbour around us, they love us. We have a proper chat with them. When they see us in the morning, we have a good chat with them. Every neighbour, like,
that's how it's got to be, isn't it? Really, that's exactly how it's got to be.
And like, whenever we cook food, any party, celebration, whatnot, we give it to our neighbours. We give it to our neighbours, and they love it. Sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, don't give us too much spice," but they love it. They're like, you know what? Like, I finished it. Like, you know, they love all that stuff, which is nice to see. You know,
that's why I think that way things will only get better. Do you know what I mean?
And also, like I was talking about earlier as well, the whole Norfolk thing, like, because it's Norfolk, it's slow. So you got to think, like, next year it's going to be, not next year, 10 years' time, it's going to be double where it is right now, which we're going to see, obviously, Norwich expanding, more multicultural venues, restaurant, foods, whatnot. You know, it's just going to be lots more different cultures stuff.
That's what I mean. It's like, even in certain situations, you know, when like people, like from my point of view, it's like sometimes people will say to me, "Oh yeah, like you do realize your friend's racist, blah blah blah." But bro, like it'll be a certain situation where, because they're my friend, do you know what I mean? And like it's been when me and him have been together, or like what me and her, whatever. Do you know what I mean? You can always prove a certain situation like that person ain't racist. He has his opinion, and yeah, he's allowed his opinion, but I still would defend that person. Do you know what I mean? And it's like he's not. I get his opinion's wrong, but it's a way of educating someone.
Of course, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? It's a way of educating someone, and having an opinion, bro. Everyone's got an opinion.
Of course,
bro. Opinions. It's not facts. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And that's another thing. It's like just finding the balance, because some people think opinions are facts.
Yeah. Of course they do.
And that's the only wrong thing. But obviously, when you even then put studies and like look into like what we were touching base on, like the rapists and stuff like that, bro. There is a lot of studies that even frankly we don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And it's just like learning to educate yourself and finding out. And you can also attack the hate with like acknowledging what that opinion is being worded,
acknowledgement
and finding a way to also then teach someone.
Of course, like I said, educate. I was about to say that education as well. Like, educate these lot, and
this is crazy, bro.
It's crazy. Like, it is crazy, bro. Like, I just do hope that
it's change, man. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen.
The worst part of it is I just don't want our children to go through it.
That's it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Luckily, we haven't gone through the worst part of it, but even for them to even get an ounce of it, a little ounce of it, like
that's it.
Like being racist should be like in 10 years' time completely oblivious. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, like, it happens. Like, bro, even like to think when I first moved down here, it'd be like, bro, like I felt like I was being attacked. Do you know what I mean? Like I had to feel like that, but obviously the older I got, the more I even knew that back then that was worse, because it'd be almost an excuse or something to get out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like it's crazy because now I educated myself and I know way more than I ever did. It's like it was wrong in a certain way, and I was also even planning myself to be a target. But there was also same situations. I get it. That were obvious. Do you know what I mean? So I could then say things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like, even when teachers and stuff would say it, they'd be like, "Oh, is it because I'm black or something like that?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Because that's how I felt at the time. But yeah, it's not right. But then in other situations where I had been attacked because of certain situations, that's what I felt I could say. Do you know what I mean? But whereas it is gonna get better, man, and that's the only way it's gonna get better. Do you know what I mean?
But like I said, we've got to educate people. That's the only way.
Move in the right direction.
You can't talk to them in like a abrupt or a violent manner.
You know what I mean? And from me, like with racism, I've always spoke from my point of view. Do you know what I mean? My point of view, that's the key thing. I get it when you see other people's point of view, but I can only speak for myself.
Of course.
I can only control the actions of myself. And that's the thing. We're all humans, you know what I mean? So that's the only other thing I wanted to just get out there too, because bro, you can't control everyone's actions, and it's just learning to also then educate the individuals, so then they can get better or even get a better understanding to then think, actually, why am I like this? You know what I mean? Or why am I showing this to this? But because everyone has their own opinion, point of views, and also they learn into something that shows way more hate than it actually is.
Of course,
because then you look at something and you think, cool, I want to now label the whole Muslim culture.
And it says a lot about them.
Yeah, I hear what you mean, yeah.
A lot about them.
It's sticky, bro. It's just hella sticky, like. But yeah, like, as long as we move in the right direction to educate people,
of course.
There's no other way we can go, bro. There's no other way. But yeah, obviously, with touching that, bro, I just can't wait to obviously invite, like I was saying earlier, we've got point of views from like refs' point of view, like when we touch base on the football thing, and even a player like I say a baller around here. And yeah, I just want to also hear his understanding. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be good. It'd be good to hear it from their point of view as well. Because
so I'm saying he's a baller. So people need to actually figure out and understand where, from his point of view, because I think that's where people don't really know. People just thought, oh, why is he like this? Why is he doing this? Why is he wasting himself? That's everyone's opinion, but they don't know from his opinion. So it's like, also hearing and understanding that, I think, yeah, man, we got a lot coming through, and if people stick tight and hold on, it'll be there, man. Do you know what I'm saying? It'll be there.
But on that note, make sure you guys like, subscribe,
Come
share, do all of that, because we enjoy doing this, and we've been speaking about doing this for ages, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Got some new content coming soon, trust me. Just hold tight. But yeah, as from us, ciao.